Okay, today we're making ozoni. This is one of the most interesting subjects for me, and I love explaining the certain things about ozoni. Okay, first of all, it's from Japan, and it's usually eaten on New Year's Day to symbolize good luck, good fortune, and good health. Okay, this mochi also can be either just immersed like that, boiled, or it can be broiled. But when you eat it, it's going to stretch, and that stretching kind of symbolizes longevity or long life. Also in Japan, all the different regions that you go to will have different ways of making their ozoni, and usually it's about displaying the bounty from their farmers, so what they have growing in their area, and what's specific to their area. Like, for example, if you go to Niigata, which is just below Hokkaido, there is a version of ozoni that uses salmon and ikura because it's close to the ocean. It's abundant with salmon. If you go south of Tokyo, there's a Tokyo one. And if you go south of Tokyo, they include white miso. And in Kyoto also, everything is round. So these square pieces of mochi become round. All the vegetables from the area are cut round. And it also has that miso flavor, like I said. So it's pretty interesting when you think about it. They almost always start with a broth, okay? So now the first thing is, I have in here kombu with water, and it's been just sitting in here for like about an hour. The longer you let it sit in the water before you bring it up to a simmer, the more flavor you can extract from that. This product is called kombucha, or kombu dashi, and great for vegetarian dishes. Here is dried shiitake mushrooms. Just put into boiling water and just allow it to steep. This here is this kombu dashi with the katsuobushi inside. So these are the dried, thinly shaved smoked bonito. So this is the classic dashi. So when you strain that, you put this in here. You add a little bit of dried shiitake mushroom water. Then you put pieces of chicken into your soup. This is chicken, boneless, skinless chicken thighs. These were cut like about 1 inch by 2 inch to begin with. They've kind of shrank to like less than 1 inch by 1 inch. And so you have the broth. This was also seasoned with a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of mirin, and a little bit of sake. Also, the chicken, before I put the chicken inside the soup, I put a little sake in the chicken just to sort of like rinse it. And if this just makes the chicken just smell cleaner. Okay, so now I'm going to make 3 versions today. So the first thing I'm going to add is some shaved carrots, some gobo. Now I'm going to add that to the broth. This is the gobo. It grows in the ground like this. So gobo is a Japanese name. The American name is burdock. It's actually called an oyster plant. In Europe, this is very close to what they call salsify. Has a very earthy smell and flavor. So that's in here. I took some of the dried shiitake mushrooms, sliced it, it goes in there. This is aburaage, which is the fried tofu. I put this in early because what's really good about them, they're like sponges. They just absorb the stock. This is a toaster oven. You want to line your tray with aluminum foil so it doesn't stick. So I'm going to put this in here. Give it some space because it might spread. It might puff up. What you want is for it to get nice and puffy and golden brown. And if there's a little bit of black, that's okay too. So after this is nice and cooked, we'll take a look at that. That will go in the soup. So the mochi was cooked at about 3 inches from the heat source, and it got nice and puffy. If your mochi is fresh, the inside is cooked. If you go from frozen mochi, you kind of want to take it out a little bit so it gets to room temperature. But then the next step is you put this in the soup. Now this is going to complete the cooking of the mochi, and it's going to become nice and really soft and gooey. Okay, the last thing is I want to add the mizuna. These are cut into like about 2.5 inches pieces. And this is the last thing because it's green. It's going to cook really fast, and you don't want it to turn yellow. So now, in the first bowl, because the surf clam is already cooked, and the abalone is already cooked, and the kamaboko is already cooked, I'm going to add this to the soup bowl and then add that later on for garnish. So to season, a little sake, a little bit of soy sauce, and a little bit of mirin. Okay. Then to garnish, one will have the surf clam. One kamaboko. Next one, the abalone. One kamaboko. And the only difference is, for the abalone one, I'm just going to add a little bit of the juice that comes from the can and add it on top. Okay? Now, because this is a regional thing that you can go all over Japan and have different kinds, I decided to put my own local spin on it, which is kalua pig. So this has been already warmed. And add it to the plate. Now you can add it to the soup if you like. You can tell how soft the mochi is now. And there you have my local, from Hawaii, kalua pig ozoni. 3 different kinds of ozoni. Okay, ozoni is ready. I'm gonna taste the broth first. So what I'm looking for is something very light, not overly seasoned. I got nice chicken flavored broth with the dashi in the background. And depending on what you decide to garnish it with, that's what you'll taste. But I got the vegetables, showing the abundant bounty of the farmers in your area. And most important, the mochi. To represent long life. Happy New Year, everybody. Aloha.